Our keynote speaker is Chief Chris Okunowo, FIOD. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, madam.
Chief Okunowo is the president and the chairman of Chairman Council of the Institute of Directors. Chief Okunowo is a seasoned legal practitioner and the founder of Chris O. Okunowo & Co. He is an excellent advocate, and is a member of several professional bodies with an impressive array of honors from many quarters. Chief, you may proceed with your keynote speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam. Please permit me to adopt the protocol already established by the moderator. I guess he didn't really mention the names of our panelists, but they're all very well known. But good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you for joining this webinar, which promises to be a very extremely fruitful and insightful session. Insightful because the concept of mergers and acquisition, which is a corporate restructuring scheme, will be analyzed as us to examine the likely solution it prefers to the economic recession challenges the world is currently facing. We are all aware that the global economy has undeniably been affected by this pandemic. Financial systems across the globe have been badly hit. The pandemic has forced many businesses to close, leading to unprecedented disruption of commerce and in most industry sectors. Retailers and brands face many challenges, such as those related to health and safety, supply chain, workforce, cash flow, consumer demand, etc. The World Bank has predicted that over 90% of countries are expected to face a recession, and most regions in the world will be subject to substantial economic contractions. As is expected that there will be an average of a 35% increase in the number of companies that will go bankrupt between 2020 and 2021. This, of course, creates the necessity for businesses to seek alternatives to ensure their sustenance in the midst of pandemic fallout, as countries all over the world strive to come up with the recovery plans to boost their economies. The search for alternatives to mitigating the economic loss and avoid an economic recession brings to bear the need to consider alternatives to the present predicament. At the early start of this pandemic, there were projections of the likely increase of mergers and acquisition, and indeed, several mergers and acquisition deals have commenced and are being executed as we speak. At the international scene, there have been some notable mergers and acquisition plans in 2020. Early in May, Liberty Global and Telefonica announced their agreement to merge their UK operations by bringing together Virgin Media, UK's fastest broadband network, and O2, the country's largest mobile platform. In July, US conductor company Analog Devices offered to buy rival chip maker Maxim Integrated Products for $20.9 billion in an all-out stock deal. This September, Gilead Sciences announced its agreement to acquire Immunomedics, a biotech company, in a $21 billion deal that would expand Gilead's availability of cancer treatments. Notwithstanding these, it is expected that more mergers and acquisitions will happen in the coming months. In the last couple of years, there have also been key mergers and acquisitions in Nigeria. In March of 2019, there was a merger between Access Bank and Diamond Bank, which afforded both banks the opportunity of leveraging on their distinct potentials to build a stronger bank. In November 2019, Olam International Company completed its acquisition of Dangote Flowers PLC. Coca-Cola also completed its acquisition of Chi Limited, and MTN acquired Visafone. In consideration of the Central Bank of Nigeria's directive for recapitalization of microfinance institutions in Nigeria, and the National Insurance Commission's recapitalization directive to insurance companies in Nigeria, It is expected that there will be more mergers and acquisitions in the coming months and into 2021, so as to ensure compliance with the new minimum capital requirements for microfinance banks and insurance companies, respectively. In my capacity, firstly as the President and Chairman of the Governing Council of the Institute of Directors, an apex professional body with a mandate to safeguard the integrity and status of directors in their individual capacities across the various sectors of the economy, where promote good corporate governance and high ethical standards, and thereby enhance professional standards in the affairs of the national economy and promote an enabling environment for business development. And secondly, having sat on the boards of several companies, I'm well aware of the likely considerations and deliberations on alternatives orchestrated by these economic contractions, recessions, and bankruptcies that are reverberating through the financial structures of the world economy. The consideration of businesses and the history of mergers and acquisition in Nigeria indicate that it's a concept not fully embraced in our society, as most mergers and acquisition deals that have occurred in Nigeria were sector-specific. This webinar is aimed at analyzing the practical aspects of mergers and acquisition so as to provide clarifications with particular focus on the following: overview of business operations in Nigeria, consolidation, the best way out for companies rather than competition, and review of the legal framework for mergers and acquisition. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, I'd like to thank our host, Mr. Kemi Piero, SAN, and a fellow of the Institute of Directors, our much esteemed panelists for finding the time to be part of this webinar. And I also want to welcome all our distinguished colleagues and participants. I wish you fruitful deliberations. Thank you, Piero LP, for the privilege to make these few remarks. Please remember that COVID-19 is still very much with us, and I therefore implore you all to please keep safe and stay healthy. Thank you, and happy Independence Anniversary Day to you all. God bless.
Thank you very much, Chris. Very enlightening. Thank you so much.